Okay, so welcome, Ralphy Dreamz, to Entertainment Affair. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot of media interviews lately. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your career. I know that you just launched an EP with 6 songs, and then you also just released something this past week or 2 weeks ago. El Verde es Vida.
That's right.
All right, El Verde es Vida is the title of your new EP, as well as one of the singles that come out of that EP. Tell me a little bit of this EP. Why did you decide to include these songs? I know these are all covers, correct? Tell me who are the covers from, and why did you decide to do this EP?
So the songs are originally, 3 of the songs are from Tercer Elemento, and one song is from Fuerza Regida, and then the other song is from Legado Siete, which is Mexican regional bands. Um, the reason why I did it was because I was working. I don't know if you remember when we spoke in LA. I was working on La Diferencia album, which was like covers of Vicente Fernandez. And right when I started the project, I ran into these guys, and I felt like in love with the music, the whole culture, what they were doing. So I've never heard. At the moment, I was working on the Vicente album, working on my personal album where I'm writing the songs, and they were writing the same topics that I was writing at the time. So when I heard this music, I was like, wow, let's see. Instead of me throwing out these songs that are mine, let me try and see these covers and see how they work. And since it's never been done in bachata before, I thought it would be great. And I just started listening to the music, learning them, and researching which ones I could use for this project. And I picked those, and they've been working very well for me.
You've
So
had
those are the
gran
reasons.
aceptación with this album. I know that you have a big following in Latin America, which is kind of awesome because these songs, because they tend to be from Mexican bandas, they don't make it as far, further than Central America most of the time. So the fact that you have, for example, that you have such a big fan base in Argentina, for example, with these songs that are now made into bachata, I think it's opening a new audience, not only for the Mexican music, but also for, bachata, which to my knowledge isn't typically a genre that, gusta mucho in Argentina. So tell me about that.
Mhm.
How has it been? And I know that during the pandemic, you haven't been able to travel as much as you originally had planned to do promo tours, but tell me a little bit about how has it been like being accepted into places like Argentina or any other place that doesn't necessarily gear towards bachata or even Mexican, you know what I mean? Because Argentina tiende a ser mucho rock as well
Yeah.
as other genres. But tell me about that. How has that been?
It's been amazing because especially Argentina, Chile, El Salvador, like El Salvador listens to a lot of like Mexican regional music.
Mm-hmm.
For them to accept like this EP, and the song that's being promoted right now in El Salvador is Empecé de Cero, and it's starting to pick up in Argentina. Like when I do like Skype interviews or Zoom interviews or by the phone through WhatsApp, they let me know, they're like, this has never been done in bachata, so como lo hace, o sea, like what made you, like, like they accepted the music so quickly. And to me at first when I did it, it's like the Dominican culture, the dembow and the reggaeton and trap, like they talk about it, but it's not accepted in the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like that pressure, like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like, are my fans gonna listen to this? But as soon as I dropped it, like they showed love. My parents, my parents are Dominican, so at first they were like, are you sure you're gonna do this? But they really like the music. They're like, hey, we don't consume, CBD or marijuana, but it's the music is really good, so go for it. We
So
support
I
you.
think I think it's mostly a very interesting angle because you're choosing Mexican music to kind of turn it into bachata, which isn't something that's done much. And I think it's very interesting I think that's why many people have questions because they're like, wait, how does a Dominican artist like these Mexican songs enough to turn them into a bachata y que ha tenido aceptación? So I think that's why it's an interesting angle when, people interview. It's like, wait, how did that happen? So, ¿de dónde viene el gusto por la música mexicana?
Mis abuelos, my dad, my grandfather, ellos desde niño, o sea, I grew up in New York and New Jersey, so there's like a really strong Mexican, Dominican, Colombian, Puerto Rican culture. So growing up, I did listen to salsa, Hector Lavoe, you know,
Mhm.
Tito Rojas. I did listen to Vicente Fernandez, you know, the Aguilares, Chalino. Even in New York, he was really big.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So to me, it was just like it was normal. Like I thought it was normal. You know, I thought that Dominicans listened to corridos. You know, so I know that a lot of Dominicans do listen to like Los Tigres del Norte for sure, but I'm asking a lot of Dominicans, they don't know who Chalino is.
Yeah.
So like I'll present them and they're like, no, but then I'll ask their parents and they're like, oh yeah, we used to listen to him in the 90s. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's because Chalino tends to be a specific genre in the sense that not everyone who's Mexican likes it. It's very specific. So
Mm-hmm.
and you know, here in LA, he's huge. You know, him as well as his son, who also passed away. They're huge here in the Mexican music. So I think que eso también te ha valido para poder entrar de cierta manera a la ciudad de Los Ángeles, al territorio de Los Ángeles, music wise, because not only is Mexican music here huge, especially by someone like Chalino Sanchez, but also bachata. Like we are huge consumers here in LA of bachata. So being able to merge those two genres, I think, has given you an advantage that not many have when they enter, you know, an area like LA. And I know that last time that we spoke, you did talk about that and you had a lot of media interviews. So it's been going amazing. Now, talking about Chalino Sanchez, one of the songs that you have is also from Chalino Sanchez, correct? Can you tell me about that one?
Yeah, so La Nieves de Enero, that song, I covered it in bachata and I did my own little flavor, you know, I added. But it was a very delicate song because it had to do with him, you know, and since little by little, like I'm trying to grow a fan base in LA, I didn't want to offend people doing a song
Yeah.
of Chalino or make them feel like, oh, it was whack. So I did a lot of studying, you know, a lot of studying because it was like I said, it was delicate. But when I went to LA, that was the main artist that everyone kept asking me. Like I went to LA promoting a single, and while I was meeting with people, I was showing them the album that I was working on, La Diferencia album. And when I would show them the Diferencia album, I would show them El Verdes Vida, like the demos, and they're like, "Yo, you're doing dope with the corridos. What about a song from Chalino?" And I'm like, okay. And everywhere I went, everyone asked me like, "Are you gonna do a Chalino cover? Are you gonna do a Chalino cover?" So I was like, when I came back to Florida, I was like, I
You're
have
like, I
to do
gotta do
this
a
song.
Chalino.
I have to see like what's gonna be the reaction, whether it's good or bad. I have to do it.
I think it's been very good. Has tenido gran aceptación con esa canción, and like I said, I think it's giving you an advantage in Mexican households in a sense, or people that listen to Mexican music. It's giving you an advantage, and I think it's done tastefully in a sense that it doesn't offend them. And I think that's very important that you did your research, and that you made it sort of as an homenaje instead of offending the fans. And I think you did
Yes.
great with that. So you have from you released an EP, which was for the covers of the Vicente Fernandez songs, and you just released this one that's an EP for Mexican artists. What is next for you? I know that you told me you're working on some new music. Do you plan to do that later this year, maybe next year, so you can aprovechar y hacer una gira? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
I want to continue to keep releasing music. Just like right now I'm promoting La Nieve de Enero and El Verdes Vida. So since it's two different kind of, it's in the same genre bachata, but are two different topics, it's easy for me to like cross promote.
Yeah.
But next month I plan on releasing a song with Luis Vargas. He's like
Oh.
big, yeah. So I finally locked in after 3 years bothering him and just knocking the
Hey, el que
door.
persevera alcanza.
Yeah.
So you got it. That's awesome. So you were trying to collab with him, and you said, "Dio."
Yeah, so I wrote a song for him like 3 years ago, and I showed it to his son, and he showed it to his dad, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." But I don't know, me estaba mareando, so like Puerto Rican say, me estaba pichando. So
Ah,
I was like, oh, okay. So I just waited. I just kept waiting, and every year I would be like, "Hey, Louis, what's up?" And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it." So 2 weeks ago, finally, we locked him into the studio. Um, Unfortunately, it was because of the coronavirus, he wasn't as busy, but we finally got him in the studio and we did the song. It's being mixed and mastered right now. So hopefully next month we could show it to the world. It's going to be something really nice.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to see that. So is there going to be a music video to this one? Since, we're getting a little bit better with the whole COVID situation. People are are following security, safety guidelines. So, most of our normal life is coming back. Is there a video plan for that? Or what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so we're trying to lock him in to do the video. We don't know if it's gonna be in New York, Florida, or Puerto Rico. We might do it in Puerto Rico. So it all depends on, he's still a little iffy about this COVID stuff. So
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, I don't know. I want to just be home chilling. So but let's see. Hopefully, he's open to do it. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks we might do the music video. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Ralphie, we're really excited for you. Congrats on all of your accomplishments and all of your releases. Your career is going up, and that's amazing. And let's ask you three things because we're in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I want you to tell me three things that make you proud of being Latino.
Three things. Wow. I would say like the faith, that a lot of Latinos have.
Yes.
We're very we're very passionate people as well. So I would say those are the things that make me proud of being a Latino. We're not afraid to grow and take risks. I think that's another thing that I'm very proud of.
Definitely, and definitely we see that in a lot of Latino households because a lot of the parents came to the United States from their own native countries. So that's definitely something that we all have in common, that esa tenacidad y esa determinación de, salir adelante y construir un mejor futuro para, sus hijos. So definitely that's something that we as Latinos have. And I love that that was one of your responses. So thank you so much, Ralphie. It was great chatting with you once again. And tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
No, thank you for the opportunity. And everyone, you can find me on all the digital platforms as Ralphy Dreamz on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm starting to tweet a little bit now. So on Twitter at Ralphy Dreamz, and just chat with me. I'm always online and ready to work with anybody that wants to work.
Mira, before we end, tell me who's someone that you would like to collaborate with. I don't want to say the bachata genre because then it kind of limits the artist that you can collaborate with. But tell me, what is one artist that you would like to collaborate with from any genre?
Wow, this is so hard. But for sure, I would love to do a bachata with Travis Scott.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a really good one. So, you had that thought out already.
I've been thinking about this for like 6 years.
No,
I want to work with him and Drake.
That's a great one. You don't need to give me any more responses. That's an amazing answer. Well, thank you so much, Ralphie. It was great chatting with you once again. Y que sigan los éxitos.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Hold on, let me.